painter, mostly oils, landscape-based work. And in 2005, I was inspired to do a work based on small flowers and began thinking about these flowers as potential vehicles to make a statement about peace. And my original desire was actually to document flowers just growing wild, so essentially weeds in Rwanda. And I could not figure out a way to get myself into Rwanda at all, let alone safely. But this was just a couple of years after the war in Iraq had started, and I did my various Google searches and found a small group, NGO, non-government organization, that still was maintaining a presence in Iraq. So we went to Iraq. I was there for 10 days, obviously unembedded. Half of the group that I went with stayed in Baghdad, and my half went down to a city, Kerbala, which is about 2 hours south of Baghdad. And while we were there, we were actually able to walk the streets in relative safety. We walked to the market every day to go do our grocery shopping. And just outside of the main market is what is now a parking lot. And as it turns out, it's also a mass grave. This mass grave was actually a result of the first Gulf War. We call it the first Gulf War, if the one that's going on is the second Gulf War. So the work that is on the floor is of this mass grave, and I sort of littered it with the little flower paintings. And it's surrounded by the 4 larger paintings of what I realized actually are sunflowers that have been sort of, for whatever reason, they're on the ground dying. And as I started working on this series of paintings, what came up for me was really questioning the whole series in terms of its validity for what I was trying to communicate, because it really wasn't so clear in my own mind, but also my position in the context of this war and in the context of being an American citizen and living in what is actually an empire. I didn't often enough, I don't think, question how is it that I get to have cheap gasoline? How is it that, my jeans only cost me, $30 a pair as opposed to $300 a pair? And, I am trying not to take that stuff for granted so much, because I also don't like the idea of innocent people having to die so that I can live cheaply.